It's time for Sunrise with the Sleepy Boys.
Forgive us, Father, for we are about to sin and be very naughty boys.
Yeah, I had a
Now
friend.
recording.
I had a friend share the other day, and I did not like this at all. But he pointed out, so now bartenders just need to check to see if someone was born in the 90s. If it says 19 anything on their driver's license, they can legally drink. And I was like,
Oh, yeah. So whenever you go to specs, they have a little thing that you push yes. It says if you're born before like a the month changes. But it started saying 2000.
yeah,
Yep.
that's, oh, God.
And I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, I'm one of
What
those
happened?
people. I was like, it was like the 90s 3 years ago, and it was not.
Hey, Brandon.
Hey, Mark.
Of the backpack and swiper and the map from Dora the
Dora.
Explorer, which one would you just fucking rail?
All right, what's my choices?
Swiper. Oh my gosh, they actually did a really good job with rendering him in this movie. Swiper, backpack, or the map. You gotta marry one. You gotta kill one. You gotta just fucking rail the other.
Why are you always trying to like get me the fucking instant things?
My God. For real though, they did a really good job with Swiper. He's muscular.
I have no idea what any of these are.
Swiper, no swiping.
Mark, what type of animal is that?
That's a fox.
There you go.
Okay, good. All right, cool. That's what I was hoping.
Man, look at the wide at the chest, narrow at the hips. Fuck.
Mark, the things that arouse you scare me, and I'm okay saying that.
Yeah, keep talking about it, Mark. Keep going.
The things that arouse me scare me too. So
I'm pretty tame. I feel pretty lucky. I'm not into all the weird shit like you have to get dressed up to do a thing. That seems like a lot of time.
Right? It's not even just like it's another species or anything. It's just who has the time?
You know, I've made some furry costumes for people, and it's...
How long does it take from start to finish to make a furry costume?
It depends.
Are we
On whether
taking
or not-
a full mascot, head to toe, or are we taking shortcuts?
Yeah, I've done just some, like, masks for people, and that takes about, like... Granted, I'm not a seamstress by any means. I can just work a sewing machine, but I think 3 weeks I can get a mascot head done, and then a little longer for full suits, just because you have to take measurements for people. They typically want special requests, like zippers in the front and back. Don't laugh.
Hey Chris, how much do you charge to make a furry suit?
DM me.
Well, there's
I
something that
think Mark's
involves.
actually legit because he needs a bear costume made.
Yeah, we don't talk about that on air. You have to message me directly.
And how able are you to make a usable fur cock? Mark has special needs.
What was that question again? I'm sorry.
Hey, Jeff, you need to be careful throwing around the term special needs, bro.
Oh, Jesus. Well, I've helped some people do, clone body parts.
Oh,
That's not something you should have told Mark.
That's
Brandon, they literally sell those cloning kits at the shop down the street from me.
so do you have
Friend
to
of-
keep an erection the entire time?
Yeah, a friend of ours had the issue to where his body part was scraping the inside of the tube, so he couldn't get a proper cast.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so we had to buy 2 kits, and I had to go to Home Depot to buy a bigger tube.
For
When did you
Brandon,
make
they
this for
actually have to
Brandon?
use
No, stop it.
For Brandon, they use the stuff that they use to like make a leg cast.
You'd have to call Bad Dragon in order to get. Yeah, it's
What
good.
is this?
It's like a peanut butter marshmallow graham cracker stout.
You have to like take Viagra to make sure you're hard the entire time.
No, just focus, asshole.
I'm pretty lazy. That's a lot of
That's
focus.
what Mark gets told all the time.
Oh,
What?
And
Focus
it
your-
allows in it, it typically sets up pretty quick, and if you use warmer water, it'll kick even faster.
wait. So how long does it take?
It depends. I mean, I've used dental grade alginate, which can take, I think, up to a minute if you pour like.
Oh. I was thinking you had to have it sit for like 20, 30 minutes or something like
No, God,
I'm
no.
having flashbacks to when we made that fucking mold for Mark's
that.
head.
Holy shit, I forgot about that mold.
What,
We were in the back of the gift shop.
yeah, for anybody that doesn't know, for a period of time, my compulsion is to make things, and at one point I was a makeup artist, so I was doing special effects type of things, body castings, which is where most of this experience comes in with duplicating body parts. If you have any questions, let me know. Just call in now.
Let's go to the line. Nobody's there. Damn it.
Call
Try it.
call the number at the bottom of the screen. Oh wait, this is audio media.
Wait. So are you saying that we can buy replicas of Mark's head?
Not anymore.
We could make one.
Motherfucker.
Oh my god.
Okay, I'll tell you what, I'll do it again. But I gotta do it on
You have
my
to shave.
terms.
No, you don't. You don't have to shave. They have a product. Smooth On makes it. It's some cholesterol-based product, or you can use conditioner, just regular hair conditioner. Just smear it.
Cover it on your facial hair and like,
Yeah.
damn.
Oh my god. What are we gonna do with replicas of Mark's head?
Oh my God, what are we not gonna do with the replicas of my head?
Gonna make our first Sleepy Boy, our first Sleepy Boy official merch.
It's a Mark Fifi.
A fuckable Mark head.
Can we
Cheers
can
to that,
we
bro.
get a mold of Mark's hand that is detailed enough that people can use it for fingerprints? Because I want to sell that one everywhere.
You guys know I don't have fingerprints, right?
I don't have
You're
fingerprints.
lying.
No, I
Bro,
burned them off.
Didn't Brandon talk to you about lying?
Wait,
Man,
what?
He's lying. He's trying to convince us that he burned off his fingerprints, but he didn't.
Look how lucky you are, Brandon. You got your wife bringing you apple fritters in the podcast.
hi Jazz, we love you.
She's not here. She knows she's not allowed in the man room.
Yeah, she gave the screen a finger.
Yeah, I am not cutting that. That's staying in.
And when HR reviews that one.
I mean, she is HR.
I'm gonna send that clip just to her.
For titled for review.
Jasmine, is this? You know, we probably should get somebody listening to our show before we
Titled
release it.
For the Lawyer.
Yeah, Mark, it's called You. You listen to the show before we release it.
But Mark,
Wait, is that-
the things that Mark thinks are okay for us to air? I think that's we're gonna get in trouble, guys.
I saw a cat carrying a baby bunny across the street this morning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's called breakfast.
That's called murder.
No, it was fun.
No, when you saw it.
Oh. Okay, that was dark.
That's like, man, I got my lunch early today.
I thought that. God damn it! All right, well that ruined my day. I'll look through my notes of nice things that happened today.
What, man,
what
why
I
the
did.
fuck you gotta ruin Chris's good day, man?
Yeah, I got my daily little affirmations of nice things that happen, so I don't kill myself.
And you just ruined his day about a bunny getting
Maybe
ate
that's
by
what I need to start doing.
I think a cat ruined his day.
A cat was carrying a baby bunny across the street. I thought it was like, oh, let me help you because you don't know how to walk yet. And then I guess the cat fucking ate it. Thanks, Brandon.
Probably.
Thanks, everybody.
It probably
Well,
did.
hey,
Right.
there might be a silver lining. If it was
Okay.
carried away, it was probably to feed kitty babies.
Okay, Oh,
Oh,
God.
there you go.
Oh, it's probably still alive when it ate it. All right. Well, second nice thing that happened today, I topped my solitaire score of best time. I got 1:15.
Nice.
Right.
Holy shit. Good.
Oh, I was fucking crushing it this morning, man. I had no kings come out of the pile that I was pulling cards out of. I was just
Solitaire.
so fucking good at solitaire right now.
God
What-
damn. I haven't played
what-
solitaire in a long time.
Fucking
I
nerd.
always liked the different versions of solitaire. Like
Spider.
Spider's fun, but like the one where it's like there's like three piles of cards and you have to like go up or down one, you know?
Oh, I up or down people's houses all the time.
Oh yeah.
Fuck.
You upper deck people's houses all the time.
Yeah, but Mark, the problem is you keep doing it in your own house.
I've been laughing too much. My stomach hurts.
Well, maybe it's time for you to go upper deck.
Mm, I'm gonna up or down something.
What if
Maybe
that was the only
maybe
way
Mark
you could
needs
use
to
the
do
restroom?
Oh my god, guys, what if that's the only way you could use the toilet?
Is to upper deck someone's house?
Yeah, you had to upper deck.
I like Mark's version, someone's house. So it has to be a different person. It can't ever be in your home.
Anytime you go to somebody's house, you have to upper deck. You can't use the toilet normally. You have to upper deck it.
Oh, you just know that's got to be someone's fetish.
Fuck,
You know what? There absolutely probably is. It has to. The rule of averages says.
There's at least one person. Oh, God.
So,
What do you do if you find yourself with the one person in your group of friends that just upper decks you all the time?
I go on a podcast and I tell the entire fucking world exactly who's doing it.
I'm surprised you said who's and not just, and I'd go on the podcast and tell the world that Mark's doing that.
Oh, man.
I wanted to leave a little bit of mystery there, Mark.
Everyone knows that there's no mystery to who you would blame.
Right, because
Mark,
Jeff's
that's the thing,
blaming
though.
somebody, which takes him out of the equation.
Oh,
Guys, the thing
Because
is,
out of our group of friends, if there was somebody who was going to do it, I would
Oh,
say it would be
100%.
Jeff.
I would
Yeah.
say it would be Jeff.
but guys, I think we're forgetting the one thing is we would know who did it because Mark would never close the door.
Straw man tactic.
You just walk past the bathroom. He's got the door wide open while he's upper decking your place.
He wants you to know.
Is
Guys,
his shoes on or off your toilet seat?
guys, you guys are missing one entirely possible outcome here. I personally think it'd be amazing to find out that Key is just that fucking freak. Because he's so normal otherwise.
And so nice and innocent that he's the one that's just absolutely abhorrent and disgusting.
Did you guys ever watch Community?
No.
Yes.
I don't watch
It's
shows.
the ass crack bandit.
Oh, yeah.
Just keeps dropping change in people's ass cracks.
I do that to my girlfriend.
That's how you thank her.
Yeah. I can get one of those Jefferson half dollars some days when she's wearing her low rise. Too much? All right. I only had diarrhea.
I just keep thinking of Simpsons right now. Dental plan, Lisa needs braces. Dental plan, Lisa needs braces.
I dropped a pencil. I'm familiar with my butt cracks.
I was so speaking of Simpsons, I have never
I
watched.
thought you were going to say speaking of butt cracks.
Speaking of ass cracks, Mark,
Yeah?
I've seen yours the most out of anybody I've ever known.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
Is
I'm
it
gonna buy
weird
you a
that
belt.
Brandon could pick Mark's ass crack out of a lineup?
Anyways, I have never watched all.
Wait, hold on. Did you derail everything just to point that out?
Yep.
What?
Fuck.
How familiar you are with Mark's crack ass?
Yeah, we were moving on to a different topic, and Brandon's like, you know, Mark, out of all the ass cracks I've seen, I've liked yours the most.
No. He said,
That's not what I said.
That's what I
seen
heard.
yours the most, which considering he's married is pretty impressive.
That is impressive.
I have actually seen, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I'm going to say that. Yeah, I'm sticking to it as well.
But wait,
Just
you're
moving
sticking
on.
to
Pass
that
it
you've
along to
seen my
HR.
ass crack more than your wife's?
Yes.
Mark,
Brandon,
do you have a hairy ass?
I don't feel comfortable talking about my ass crack on this show.
All right, no. Mark, that's fair. Brandon, does Mark have a hairy ass?
You know what? I honestly,
You would know better than him.
at least the top part,
Oh,
no, not really.
I do. I'd say 80% of the hair on my body is on my butt. Moving on. So,
No, I mean, you're not alone.
so the Postal Service is weird.
The band or the
Damn it, that's where I was going to go. Do they still
Anyway,
have to
I was
pay
going
them?
to say,
Do they
I've
still
never
have to pay
actually
the US
watched
Postal Service?
all of The Simpsons, and I just started with season 1 last night, to
Oh,
which my
season
wife
one.
immediately
Okay.
started chastising me that why are we watching The Simpsons right now? And I was like, well, I've never watched all of it, and I really wanted to, like, you know, people always talk about how good the animation is and the storytelling is, especially in the early seasons.
And she
I
says,
mean-
no, I appreciate that, but it's 4:37 in the morning.
That's accurate.
Yeah.
So with Simpsons, I feel like the issue with Simpsons, it had like a level of humor that it's always stuck to. And like, which is fine, but like then like we ended up kind of growing out of that humor. And it was like, I'm just not feeling it that much anymore, you know?
That's how I feel about Family Guy, but I feel like Family Guy just really got insane.
By the way, South Park put out a new episode.
I know. I saw. I was on HBO Max the other day, kind of going through because I was on a Tarantino kick, and
nice.
the first thing you see when you log into HBO Max is the fucking South Park with a K vaccine episode.
What else would South Park be with?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Brandon, you
But
okay?
other thing is, though, I've heard from like several of like my anti-vaxxer family members who have like, oh, I just watched this South Park episode, really speaks some truth. I'm like, you shouldn't go looking for truth on South Park. What the fuck are you
That's them
doing?
because they missed the entire point.
Right.
it's pretty
Oh,
clearly
it's almost like you just described the conspiratorial people in my family that they missed the fucking point.
because that's the thing, like it shows people believing QAnon and shit,
I
and
still don't know what that is.
QAnon is literally just some
That's provocative.
like blog of conspiracies.
Yeah, it's essentially a curation of conspiracies. QAnon isn't, well, at least the last time I looked into it and really got into like doing research into QAnon wasn't publishing their own conspiracies. They were just republishing them and touting like this is a thing you should pay attention.
At what point?
It's essentially QAnon is a crazy aunt that has your email and thinks that you need to hear what she found.
Why do you need to believe that you're the smartest person you know? At that level, I'm just saying.
But, oh, no. It's more than that. It's not just the smartest. You're the most important person that ever existed. And you, of all people, little Miss Nobody who lives in Podunk, North Carolina, I found the secret the government doesn't want you to know about.
But why do you feel like you know the secret? At what point do you feel like you're privy to such information that the rest of us are just blind to, if you want to say?
You know, the ego that drives the human psyche is
They're
quite
smart enough to see through the cover up.
I so wish I could be under,
that kind of spell and ignorance that you're just that blinded.
and I might be. And
I say that constantly, like, especially in like reference to like my view on religion and the fact
Sure.
that I don't really have one. is I legitimately look at those people and I'm like, man, I'm envious of that. I really wish I could be that blind and just follow ignorantly and believe it. It must be so much easier.
The way that we think, it might be similar. We might be so convinced that we're so right and that those people are crazy that we don't question what we do or don't know.
There's that whole kind of...
And maybe it's because we question that is why we're not off touting the bullshit. We're not back on our bullshit, as they say.
Right.
For me is, I don't see any issue with the questioning. Question everything.
Sure. Questioning is so important. You should always question everything.
Sure.
But then listen to the expert, and that's it. That's all there is to it. That's how simple.
But here's the difference. The thing is, I truly believe that you don't only have to listen to the experts. I believe that there is something to be said about anecdotal, sides of things. Because it kind of gives you an idea of like, oh, well, this person experienced this, and that's not necessarily what the majority. Like, anecdotal things are important, but it shouldn't be taken as like proof. This happens. This is going to happen to you. And
when I say listen to the expert, I mean like with the flat earth.
The danger with this is people choose not to listen to the experts because they are not hearing the answers that they want, so they go looking for the answers. It's the same thing with like flat earthers that make an experiment that then ends up not working, and then they go, oh, well, the experiment's wrong. I need this result.
And that's what I mean. Why do you want your answer to be correct?
Because people have this innate sense of self-importance, and that they believe that, like, once again, the ego side of the human psyche.
None of that.
I don't have it either. I don't understand. I go through this all the time with other musicians.
And none of that. I'm sure there's like 10 or 15% of myself that is wrapped up in me wanting my ideas to be, actualized.
I think your ego gets wrapped up in yourself and what holds you to the standards. You're like, well, this wasn't good enough, so I'm never going to show that it exists.
But I think
one issue... One of the issues is it is also related to intelligence. They have found that it is one of the issues is if you I don't want this to sound as dickish as it's going to, but
go ahead.
If you are presented with facts, but then you just immediately disbelieve the facts, it's people who are like that have lower intelligences. And
I don't think that's a dickish way to say it. I think that's like a realistic, because I mean,
I don't want to say everyone who's like that. I don't want to try to paint.
I think there are people that hear facts and then go, okay, thank you. I'm just not sure about it, so let me go research it. And then typically when people say they're going to go research it, they end up finding like, oh, this is actual fact. But once again, there are types of people that just don't accept facts because it's not the answer that they want. So they then seek the answer that they want. And then they won't take, it's literally taking, like, I'm not going to take this as an answer until I get the answer that I want.
To be fair.
For me personally, I was a lot like that when I was younger.
Sure.
And it was just one of those things where it took growing and it took a bit of maturity on my part to realize, like, oh, this thing that I always thought was true, I was wrong, and that's okay. But then to realize, like, and when I first finally realized that, and I think that's one of the reasons why I love science so much, is because science is, you can prove what is and is not true.
Yeah.
And so the thing is, though, once I realized those, I don't even remember what it was that I held to be true that I realized wasn't. But once I realized that wasn't true, that's when it was like, okay, now it's easier for me to accept that I might not just know everything. And that's sometimes I just need to listen to people smarter than me.
I think one of the greatest realizations that I came to is that I don't know everything and that I'm wrong most of the time. And that gives me like, cool, I have something to strive towards, something to grow in. Because good Lord, if you're just fucking smug and you think you got know all the answers, like, Jesus, how boring is your fucking life?
right?
I should ask that to my dad one of these days.
You should.
You should. You should look him right in his face and pull your balls out, test his manhood.
Oh no, I'd be afraid to do that because his dad might double down.
He's got 4 balls.
God.
Could you
One of my favorite
not?
things with all of these conspiracies and stuff too, I don't remember who said it. I've heard it several times, but like people who believe these insane government conspiracies and bigger than that, like multinational conspiracies. There's a theory that there's a conspiracy theory that Australia doesn't actually exist.
Oh, I've heard this. Yeah,
It
absolutely.
is like an island off of Africa. Everyone there are paid actors, all this sort of thing.
Yeah.
And someone, like, for things like this and the flat earth stuff and all of it, one person pointed out one time, they're like, tell 10 people a secret. Tell 10 people a secret and see how long it stays a secret. And after, like, I heard that, I was like, okay, that's how I can tell you right now that pretty much every conspiracy theory is bullshit.
Well, I got 2 points on that. A, I'm aware of my income level, so I know what I can or cannot prove. So if I came up with some ridiculous fallacy, it's like, oh, Australia doesn't exist. Well, how can you prove or not prove that? It's like, well, I don't have the resources available to do that. 2, I think they said the same thing about the moon landing, where they're like, okay, convince 50,000 people to keep a secret, or however many people it took to get someone to the moon.
Yeah.
Just gloss over that. Like, hey, he's stupid. We just want even.
I mean,
Plus,
yeah.
it would have been more expensive at the time.
It's almost like fucking people are playing the goddamn telephone game, but they're playing it with people's minds.
We move past that. Is it better public
can't.
schools? Is it?
No, see, the thing is, I truly believe that you can have the bet.
Are other people in other countries believing this?
I can tell you from the things that I have heard from people I went to school with in regards to the fucking coronavirus, like who had the same level of education that Mark and I had, that just don't believe it and think that it's all hokum.
Do these theories exist en masse around the world, or is it strictly America?
I don't know.
I don't either.
Because I can't speak for those people, but at the same time, I don't believe that conspiracy thought, at least on the level, is just restricted to America.
I don't either.
Though I believe the sensationalism of conspiracy theories is very American.
Capitalism.
Which I find very interesting, considering our kind of the way that we are structurally designed to be, especially as a society.
The legislature, all these conspiracy theorists are telling people to believe this shit. It's just hearsay, and then enough people are like,
oh no, but there are people in our government right now in political
Taylor Green
touting
something wildly different.
But it's not though. That's
it's harmful,
straight up.
But it's making those people money. It's different than some hope.
Well, okay, but look at first off, what you mentioned earlier about education. It's what we're teaching people that needs to get better. Instead of worrying about memorizing facts and dates and times like that, you need to teach better critical thinking. Because if you're able to sit down and think through this stuff on your own, that can help eliminate it. It's never going to fully, but
sure,
it helps, and that's why science.
The problem with the litmus test before was that if it's in print or if it's on TV, it's true, and that was the litmus test, because you didn't have like a bunch of people, well, except for the yellow journalism and the muckrakers who were intentionally.
But how do you prove the efficacy of education if you're not testing people on just? I feel like this conversation is so fucking old. I feel like everybody's had it for years and years, and there's still no change, and I'm not sure what it is. Well,
I'd say this conversation keeps happening because things don't change.
Well, and to your other point earlier, is this happening in other countries, and we think not as much? Well, remember, also other countries have better education than us.
But also at the same time,
really
I
bad.
know that it happens in other countries because if you look at the way that
What are they doing so
like
differently?
with Britain and everything, they have like one of the most rampant tabloid industries in the world, and they're all about fabricating news. And but look at Piers Morgan, for Christ's sake, one of the true like pillars of yellow journalism and muckraking that I've ever seen in my entire fucking life,
Well,
other
so
than Fox News.
before we get into that, I wanted to point out. So we said that the reason a lot of these politicians are pushing this stuff is because it gets them rich.
Sure.
Marjorie Taylor Greene is not rich for this shit, and she is. It's her first term in office, but she wholeheartedly believes that QAnon is telling the truth, is fighting for the people, and all this shit.
But at the same time, it's because of those people. Like, you really have to look into who you're voting into office.
Nobody does that.
Exactly.
Right, but the thing, but also look. The thing is,
and I
nobody.
forget what state she's in, but they just wanted a Republican.
Right, but that's the thing. This is what happening when you root for your quote unquote political team.
Terrifying.
That happens. Like, are there Democrats that have fucked up and believed and touted bullshit? Absolutely, it's happened.
100%.
But the thing is, Republicans are now in that mode where they lost, the House, they lost the Senate, and they were, there was this fear after Obama was elected, and then Trump got in the office, and there was this huge, like, forcing the narrative on xenophobia. Like, they really do just, like, we need to get in as many Republicans as possible. It doesn't matter if they're Republican, whatever. My grandmother, I love her so much. She's one of the most important people in my life.
But see you next Tuesday.
But no, she's not that. She's not like that. But she was telling me, like, this was like 2 years into Trump's election. I know. And we were talking, and she's like, Brandon, I just got to tell you, I did not like Trump. I do not like Trump. But I was talking with one of my friends that, really put things into perspective for me. And then that night, God came to me and told me that it was okay to vote for Donald Trump because God had a plan and Trump was anointed by God to be in office. And I was just sitting there like trying not to grab the steak knives on the counter and just jab it through my eye and just end my existence as fast as I possibly could.
Kind of sounds like Trump is related to John
Don't
Smith.
bring it up with them. They go looking for it. That's my family.
They want to be right. They want to be right. That's that ego presenting itself like I know better.
Right, exactly. That's my family in a nutshell.
I have none of that. I'm probably wrong. I feel okay being wrong. I'm going to do my best to search out the best information to educate.
I don't understand why people get so upset about the idea of being wrong. Because the thing is, like, if I'm wrong, holy shit, I want to know that I'm wrong.
Sure.
Like, please, like, I do not wish to live in ignorance.
Well, if you're never wrong, you can never grow. You can never learn.
Right, exactly.
Well, some people are comfortable there.
Another thing is, I think another big issue is that the majority of Republicans, I don't know if I'd say the majority of Republican politicians. So the majority of Republicans don't believe the stuff that these extremist ones do. But when Trump was in power, they all 100% like, well, we have to, especially the politicians were like, oh, well, we have to back him and we have to, do what he says. We have to agree with what he says. When in reality, the majority of Republicans didn't believe in the things that Trump was saying. And for some reason, they've stuck with, those politicians have stuck with that mindset that we have to do the extremes. And I don't know if
Right,
it's
because what people learned from Trump is that the extremes get you in the office.
well, the extremes get the attention, and from there you can do what you want, you know.
Right.
Oh, he's not a politician. He's the most highly elected person in our land.
He's a businessman. He knows what he's talking
Most
about.
ignorant shit I've ever said. Also, brings us to our fifth sponsorship, HEB. You don't hear anybody saying, not my grocery chain.
In fact, if people have their way, we're going to elect them as our new government.
I'm fine with it right now.
I'm fine with HEB being our new government.
But
At least I know we're going to be taken care of.
Yeah, $15 minimum wage for a cashier?
Yeah.
Or is it 11?
a lot of the problem comes from the two-party system that we are so stuck in. When you
That's an
only
instant
have two
argument.
parties, it's not about, compromise. It's about winning,
Sure, and I'm sure there's agendas on both sides, and we're this weird middle person that's being taken advantage of, and we're being sensationalized to vote either way. There's no easy fix because I'm not nearly smart enough to know anything really.
I think you're
I couldn't agree more.
politician, so
I think I don't think this would be a fix. I think it would be a step in the right direction, though. Term limits on everything.
yes.
Because if you
100%.
can't make a career and get super rich in that career out of politics, then you know what? The people who are trying to be the senators and the representatives and all that are the people who are actually trying to affect change, not the ones who are trying to get rich.
Okay, then what's phase two? What's phase two after we figure that out?
That's for someone smarter than me to figure out.
Well, you figure it out. You come up with a detailed plan one through 10, get as far as you can, and then let us know.
Man, I just don't. I mean, there's a reason why I'm not a politician. I don't fucking know.
Well, I mean, there's an ideal society at the end of that. So start there, work your way back, or fill in the gaps the way you can. I mean, ideally, we're in a system that elects the best of us, and there's not a. I don't know. I'm tired. It's.
Agreed.
Hey guys, if you just can't get enough of Sunrise with the Sleepy Boys, you can check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at SR Sleepy Boys, or you can check out our YouTube channel, Sunrise with the Sleepy Boys. You can also find us on Spotify, Radio Public, Anchor, Breaker Radio, and coming soon, Apple Podcasts.